なんかあるから書いてねって言ったらちょっと待ってよ。
These two things, alongside the Detail of Heroes books, are now the rarest items in my Kamen Rider Girls collection, and this really shouldn't be at all. Hello. As I say in every video, please watch the previous videos in this series. They will be in the description. They'll be on the card at the top. I've covered the entire history of Kamen Rider Girls. I have a huge collection. Today we're talking about the rest of the history as well as the 10th anniversary live show, which happened in 2021 and is the most elusive concert release from any group that I've ever dealt with. I've seen very little photos of this show. I've seen no video clips. I've seen no one in America talking about it, which is why in the title it probably says the concert that no one has seen, because I'm pretty sure people in Japan have seen it, definitely 100%, but like people in America, I've never even heard anyone talk about this show at all. This is the rest of the history of Kamen Rider Girls. So before we get to the 10th anniversary, we gotta continue from where we left off last time. So last time we finished with the Invincible album, which was released during X-Aid in 2017. So now we're moving on to 2018 with Kamen Rider Build. Now with Build, they did a pretty fair amount. You know, they did the song Proud of You. Proud of You was a song for, I think it was the theme for Kamen Rider Climax Fighters. It was definitely some game that Kamen Rider was doing when Build had like sort of started off. Now this wasn't released as a single or like a physical single at all. It was released as a coupling track to Be the One. So if you got the Be the One single CD for, you know, the theme song for Build, then you also got Proud of You, which is a pretty interesting way of doing it. I don't think they've really done that before with any other like release from what I remember. Now they also did a song called Build Up, which I believe was written by Chisato. Please correct me on that, I don't remember, but Build Up was the theme for Kamen Rider Build Genius. So the final form for Build, they did that song as well, which I think was really neat. Now during this time period is also when Ayako would announce her graduation from the group. So she'd been with the group for a pretty fair amount of time, since the end of Super Best. So 2015, 2018, that was a pretty good run, you know. So she announced her graduation. Now during her graduation event was around the time of Kamen Rider GO. She had stayed for one final tour for the group, and she graduated around the time of GO. Now, during this show, I don't really know what was going on. There's not much photos or videos of this event at all. Definitely none that, like no videos that were released, but all the girls are wearing their drivers, which I assume has to do something with GO, like the whole time travel type thing, maybe, I'm not entirely sure. They're wearing their drivers with the moving on outfits. Now, around this time, Ayako revealed her love for Kamen Rider FAIZ. So during this show, they brought out a FAIZ driver and had her wearing it during the show, which I think is so sick. And GO came out and congratulated her, gave her flowers, and she graduated. And it's just so cool to me that every single member up to this point, even since 2011, that has joined the group has worn a belt at some point or another, even after the belts were scrapped. I think that that is so amazing, and she graduated wearing the FAIZ driver, so technically she has represented FAIZ. Technically she should have represented Drive when she came in, because the logistics of that, but either way, she's represented a writer, and I think that that's so cool. So cool. So after this, we would get a bit of a drought when it comes to Kamen Rider Girls, but 01 at least had a little bit of something. So in 2019, they released a mini album called 01, and around this time, I wasn't really following Kamen Rider Girls. I was listening more to Lisa, who would end up becoming my favorite solo Japanese artist, even still to this day. So I was collecting her music just like I was Kamen Rider Girls, getting everything, right? So I didn't even know that this had happened when it happened. I got it like a little bit after. And even when I did, I wasn't like super excited for it. I was just sort of getting it because it was the only thing I didn't have at the time. It's called 03080401. It's just, it's subtitled 01, essentially. It's what it's referred to as. Now, I don't know what those other numbers mean. I know it's meant to reference something. To this day, I still have no idea what it actually means. If you know in the comments, please let me know. But this cover is not my favorite. I don't really like it all that much. I know what they were trying to do, having all the members' colors, red, blue, and green. I just feel like it could have been done a bit better. Maybe if it was done like alteration, where it's like segmented and it had like the colors in the back and they were zoomed in, it would have worked a bit better. But the way it kind of looks here, it's just a little bit too loud where it shouldn't be. Either way, it comes with Proud of You, Build Up, which I believe is a re-recorded version. Usually when it says Build Up, something something version, it basically means that they re-recorded it with less members. Journey Through the Decade, which was on the Heisei Best Collection CD set thing, there was a lot of covers for Heisei themes that came out around the time of Gyo. It also comes with Warara Omo Yueni Warara Ari, which is the Kamen Rider Girls cover of the Ghost theme song. Tsuki no Oshiru Toki, which I don't know what song that is. Maybe that's from Gyo. Next New World, which is the Kamen Rider Girls cover of a Rider Chip song for Gyo. And Endless Journey, which was the theme song for a Kamen Rider game that I don't remember the name of. I've said before, I don't like covers much at all, so when this came out and I saw it was like mostly covers, it didn't really excite me as much. Plus it's a mini album, so there's not much to it. It just sort of existed. It's not horrendous or anything, it's just not something that I go back to often at all. 2020 is when the pandemic happened, so not really much of anything was happening Kamen Rider Girls wise. However, 2021 would be their 10th anniversary as a music group for Kamen, which is insane. A group, no matter how many members came in and left, 10 years for a music group is absolutely insane, especially when you have members that started with the group back in 2011, Hitomi. It's meant to be celebrated. So they released Kamen Rider Girls 10th Anniversary Live. This took place, I believe, April 20th, 2021 at the Theater Roppongi in Japan. Now, this happened, and it was, from what I understand, it was on the Toei Tokusatsu fan club at some point, so TTFC, and it was there for a little bit, and people in Japan saw it. That's a subscription type thing. It's like a premium channel for Toei. So people in Japan saw it. I haven't seen anyone in America or anywhere else talking about this show, posting pics of this show, anything from it, which is absolutely insane. Now, they released it on DVD, and even finding information about this DVD was very strange. It's the only Kamen Rider Girls physical release to not be released on CD Japan or any other retailers that their music normally goes on. I had to find it through a proxy on some other site. The girls have tweeted about it before, but it's very rare to find things about this DVD, which was absolutely insane. I almost thought it was bootleg when I got it. This live show is called Yakusoku, and as you can see on the cover, it's got Hitomi, Jiena, and Chisato on there, and Chisato's wearing her wizard driver. So immediately, I was like, I had to get it, and I didn't even know this concert existed until a few months ago, because that's how out of the loop I was and how much people haven't really been speaking about this live show. Here's the inside. It's got the disc and the girls on the disc right there, and it also comes with a booklet that says Kamen Rider Girls Magazine Volume 3, 2022. So I'm assuming this was released a year later. I guess it's very strange how this was released. So on the back of this photo booklet, it has the Kamen Rider Girls fan site, which doesn't exist anymore. They don't have a fan site anymore. The fan site is where I got a lot of those items, like the buckles that they wear, which was made by Bandai, which I didn't know that until recently. So, but yeah, this website is defunct now, and it has the girls' names and stuff on there. So this concert, oh my goodness, I went through a lot of different emotions watching this concert. And I'm going to go through them all. I'm going to go through the cons first, and then I'll go through the pros, the things that I loved about it. Because while I do have more positive to say about the show, there were some things that bothered me a little bit. So this is the 10th anniversary live show. Now, so here are the things that bothered me a little bit before we get into the things that I love. For one, no former member of the group that was here before 2018 was mentioned in this show. There was no Mitsuki, no Erika, who is now Mio, no Ayako. No one is mentioned in this live show at all. Not even Kaori, which I think is so weird. I was watching this entire show hoping that at some point one of the former members would be mentioned or referenced or something, or even showing the past riders that they represented. And it does not happen. I don't know why. I don't know how you could have a group going for 10 years that started off as 5 and then going to 6, 7, 8, and then 7. And then not mention any of them. I don't know. It wasn't a matter of any ill will or anything. I definitely don't think any of that is part of it. I just think that it's kind of bizarre that it didn't happen. And what makes it even weirder is that Kaori is in this show. They don't show her as part of the main base of the DVD. They show her at the credits with no audio because she came out, Rider Chips came out, some people from Raji Ranger came out and congratulated them, gave them flowers and stuff like that. That isn't part of the DVD, and that I don't even know why that's not part of the DVD, but Kaori is here, and she's in the show, and they thank her in the special thanks of this DVD on the pamphlet and stuff. But they don't even mention her in the main base of the DVD. So it's a very strange thing that I did not understand. Again, I was watching the entire show hoping it would happen, and it never does. I think Ayako was mentioned in passing once, but they were talking about the Ekiden from 2016, where they were doing the Honolulu marathon, and it was just them talking about how Chisato wanted to go in the water, and no one else wanted to go in the water with her. It did, but like it wasn't even like a thing, right? So I don't. That was weird to me. Another strange thing, which isn't their fault or anyone's fault really, because of the pandemic, everyone in the audience is like spaced out, so that it looks a bit more bare as opposed to full, like you would expect for a Kamen Rider Girls show. They all have pin lights and everything, but like the audience looks a bit bare because of that. It's not like empty by any means, any stretch of the imagination. It just looks kind of bare, and also they're all wearing face masks. So because of that, they're not cheering. They're not allowed to cheer because they don't want to spread germs, even with the mask. So when they finish the song, you just hear a bunch of applause and no like whoa or oi oi oi, like they always do for Kamen Rider Girls shows. So it's very off-putting. But again, it's no one's fault. It's just because of the way the world was at that point. It's just, you can tell it bothered the girls too, because it gets brought up multiple times. They bring it up like 5 or 6 different times during this show. And this show is a little less than 2 hours. Hitomi or Chisato would be like, hey, I know you guys can't cheer, but if you guys can just cheer from the bottom of your heart and shake your pin lights and stuff, that'll help us out. So it's like, clearly they're like, okay, this is weird. This is very, very strange. But again, as I said multiple times, that's not really their fault. It's just, that's how things were at the time in the world. Now, the last thing that sort of bothered me a little bit, it was something that sort of subsided. I didn't really see it as an issue at all later on, but like definitely when I first watched it, I almost wanted to turn it off, because seeing how small the members had gotten in terms of the group count, there's only 3 now, and hearing the songs that they would perform that used to be like a 7-member thing, things like Just the Beginning, Last Engage, even things like Girls Anthem and Saite, you really notice how much the harmony is affected when it's only 3 as opposed to how big it used to be. They sound amazing. It's just I wish that harmony was still there, and it does feel kind of sad when you hear songs that were tailored towards that 7-member large amount of people, like EXA specifically, and hearing it sung by only 3, it does hurt a little bit, especially myself having grown up with this group, seeing how they've changed and evolved over time and seeing how small it's gotten. It was definitely a weird thing to get over. Now, the things I loved about this show is one of the best concerts they've ever put out. It's so amazing. Now, let me go over the track list. The set list that they did for this was really good. They included all the songs that you would have imagined they would include, but a lot of obscure sort of coupling tracks as well. So they have Just the Beginning, Last Engage, a medley of Mystic Liquid, Russian Crash, Kamen Rider V3, and Alteration, which is crazy. They haven't really done medleys like this in a show, so at least physically released. So like I thought that was really cool. They did Battle Game, Saite, Endless Journey, Believe in My Flesh, a medley of Moving On, LOL, Reason 4, and Yo Solo. So here we get to the covers. They did a few different covers in this as well. They did Warara Mo Yueni, Warara Ari, which of course is the Kamen Rider Ghost theme song. Then they did Journey Through the Decade, Just Live More, Life is Showtime, Anything Goes, Let's Go Rhetoric 2011, Played for Tomorrow, EXA Exciting by Attitude, and Girls Anthem. So they have never sounded better than they do in this live show. After all of these years, especially Jiena, and I need to mention this, I've said before, Jiena, when she first joined the group, you could tell her nerves were getting to her a little bit. She seemed a bit nervous. Her voice wasn't really there for a number of different tracks. But in this live show, after all those years, and she's doing like vocal roles and like voice roles in games and songs and this, that, and the third, she has really grown into her own. And hearing her do lines and lyrics that originally were done by Kaori and just belting them out, she sounds so good. They all do. I love the way they all sound in this show. They all sound amazing. The harmony is still there. Even if it's not as strong as it used to be, it's definitely still there. Hitomi sounds great. Chisato sounds amazing. Like, I love the way they sound in this live show for every track. Some songs nearly made me cry. Like, they literally did songs like Believe in My Flesh, which is my favorite Rider Girl song of all time. They did Russian Crash, which is my second favorite song of all time for the group. And we haven't really gotten them performing Russian Crash in an official release live. So that really hit something in me. Reason 4 I didn't expect at all, you know, so that was definitely a surprise for sure. And just overall, this set list is immaculate. Not to mention, they all look so close together. Like the group has always been close. They've always been really, really good friends. But here, you can really see it coming together with them just like playfully like acting things out and laughing and like stumbling over. They look like they're having so much fun and they're very happy. Now, they did mention multiple times that they're very nervous during this live show, but you really can't tell outside of Hitomi. Hitomi stutters a little bit during the beginning, but for the most part, you really can't tell their nerves because they're just having fun and it's wonderful. Now, the writers. The writers are a very big part of this live show. This is the 10th anniversary and they have gotten so comfortable with embracing the Kamen Riders again. Even without the belts, the writers come out and it's, of course, Wizard, Oz, and Gaim. They are the first things you see when you open the DVD. When you put it in, they show up on these pedestals and their drivers are making the sounds and stuff. You know, the girls come out and they do just the beginning. Now, the writers show up in the beginning. They also show up during Battle Game. And then, of course, they show up again during the covers of their theme song. So the girls would release a mini album after this live show went out, and it's called Starting Point. And in that mini album, they released 3 songs, and they were covers of the theme songs of the writers that they represented. That was a mouthful. So they did Just Live More, Anything Goes, and Life is Showtime. And those were the only 3 songs on the mini album, the covers. And they performed them here. And of course, you know, they were meant to be like songs tailored towards each member, so each member got to shine a lot during those songs. But what's really cool about those songs is that the writers from those individual songs come out, and at one point during each song, the girls will contribute to the finisher that the writer will do against like a chakra grunt behind them. So like Chisato will give her wizard ring and she'll hit it on top of the sword, the wizard sword gun, and initiate the finisher that way. Hitomi throws medals to Oz like Anka would do in the show, and he attacks a chakra grunt. Jiena will place the lock seed on Gaim's Muso saber. It's a really fun way, and they incorporate choreography in that too. So it's a really fun way of interacting with the writers that we had not really seen before and in a physical release, and I thought that was amazing. They're of course also wearing their drivers, which nearly made me scream because, you know, seeing how comfortable again they are with this and not trying to hide from it just made me very, 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 very happy. Also, these covers are great. I've said before, I don't know if I said it earlier, but like, I don't like covers that much. I just don't. I a lot of times I see covers as like an excuse to not write an original song and or trying to one up the one that already exists. So like, covers are just not really for me, but these are really good. These are like the only covers I like because they're just, you can tell there's a lot of heart in them. Just the smiles that they had on their faces when the writers were interacting with them or when they were ending a song. Chisato has always loved Wizard, so you see her blowing kisses to Wizard and like just being very playful, and it's just makes me very happy to see that after so long, you know. I really don't know what else I can say. This live show made me very happy. Now, I did feel a little bit off when I finished it the first time because I was realizing how small the members' group count had gotten. However, this was such an important thing for them, and growing up with this group, it ended up becoming a very important thing for me as well because, you know, I needed this. It was very, very important. Let me go ahead and show you the photo book that's in this because the photo book's really cool. So I believe this is a 16-page photo book. It has photos from the live show, professionally done. Very, very nice photos. I love the outfits. Let me mention that. These outfits are really, really good. During a part in the show, they mentioned how these outfits were designed, and they attribute different parts of the design to different writers. Chisato said that she attributes the sparkliness and the rhinestones and the robe-likeness of their skirts to Kamen Rider Wizard Infinity specifically. And then Jiena was like, well, no, I think the shoulder pads are from Gaim. And then he told me, it's like, no, these outfits are O's, dude. And they're literally like wear, like on the arms and stuff. So very, very fun outfits. You got those right there. I do wish the outfits had a bit more color to them, maybe incorporating their colors a little bit. They don't really do that, and I thought that was kind of weird, especially when the writers are there for this. But it's not a big deal. These photos are really, really good. I love seeing them wearing their drivers again. Just made me so, so happy. Like, this is what the group is, you know? I feel like a lot was lost when they lost that. Or dropped that, you know what I mean? So that is the 10th anniversary live show, Yakusoku, Kamen Rider Girls 2021. Now, in 2022, they released a mini-album. I believe it was 2022. It was called Re-Incarnation, and it has them with new outfits, which I like a lot. They actually kind of remind me of Captain EO. So, really, really nice outfits, sparkly and stuff. I'm not too big on the tracks from this mini-album. I think the one that I like a lot, there's two of them. There's Speed Laser, and then there's We Are Girls, which is kind of like a new version of Girls Anthem, and they did a music video for that, and Calorie showed up in that as well. So We Are Girls is really, really good. I like Speed Laser. I don't really like a lot of the other tracks that are on that mini album. It's just sort of okay, I guess. Not really too much for me. Now, they did release a song during GOTCHARD, and it's called 101 Kemis, and as a proud fan, own every single thing they've ever released. I've heard every obscure song, Future Capture, The World, Everybody's Jump, Roller Coaster Days. I've heard every song. So I can say this. 101 Kemis is the worst song that they have ever put out. I'm sorry. It's very much trying to be a poke rap type of thing. And it's trying to do the thing that Ghost did, where they sung a song for every icon, Ghost. I didn't even like that song, but I think that song is better than 101 Kemis. This one, they're just saying the names of. It's not a great song, and they performed it in GOTCHARD too, which is crazy. But in GOTCHARD, they also performed We Are Girls, which I thought was really good. They do have new outfits for GAVV, Kamen Rider GAVV. They do have new outfits tailored towards his design, and I think that's wonderful. At this point in time, we don't know what they're contributing to the show at this recording, so I hope they're doing a lot. Who knows? However, that's where we are right now in 2024 with Kamen Rider Girls. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's been so much fun. I've said it in every video, but like literally, this means a lot to me. And I'm glad that I've been able to share that with you guys, because for a long time it felt like I couldn't really do that. So that is the full history of Kamen Rider Girls. Again, the entire series will be in the description. If you're watching through the compilation, you've already finished it. I'll make sure they're all very accessible, and I can't wait to see what we go to and go through next. I would love to cover more Kamen Rider Girls news and things that they're doing. I think it'd be really fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you guys would like to see next, and I will definitely get on that. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here and boarding my rainbow line. I'll see you guys at the next stop. See you. Alicia, Andrew, Austin, Autistic Disney, Brandon, Chaco, Emilia, Grim, Helen, Ian, Luke, Kira Did Nothing Wrong, Junior the Hedgehog, Matthew, Prima Donna.